Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams, and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, because we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Welcome to Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Call the number on the screen today and book now. Visit Island Express today to get your vinyl, your toilet sets, your doors, and also your windows. We supply all items, foundation to finish. Visit us today at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. You can also call us at 705-1800 or 308-5318.
Okay, my friends, a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are watching our program, those of you who are anticipating our program here today on Hard Facts. My friends, I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, and our program is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. So again, those of you who are having your lunch break, my friends, those of you who are having your lunch break, I would request kindly that you call us at 372-2129. That is a number, that's a hotline number that you can reach us if you have any concern that you would like us to raise on our program here today. My friends, feel free to call us at 372-2129. Again, if there's any issues, relevant information that you would like to share, whether it be a function that you are hosting and you would like us to aid, maybe if there's a death announcement and you would like us to make it for you all, feel free, you don't have to pay any money. This is a community network, and myself and my staff, we are here trying our utmost best to see how, we can really and truly lift our country to a standard whereby it was in the past, and where we can bring it back to a better and a more higher standard. Right? So again, those of you who are locked on and having your lunch, maybe you are working in a supermarket, maybe you are working government office, agencies, different parts of the country. Again, we would like you all, while you are having your lunch break, maybe you can scroll through your phone, you can share our video and let others know that this program, Hard Facts, is your voice, it is your connection, it is your, really and truly, your network. Right? And those of you who are locked on in the regional hemisphere, whether it be the Caribbean islands, whether it is South America, North America, whether it be in different parts of the world, Asia, we are asking you all, my friends, to share this video and let others know that, in Trinidad here, in Trinidad and Tobago, it is a beautiful place. It is a beautiful place, and we all can really and truly pattern our life maybe we can take a pattern from what is happening in our country. The only thing really and truly at this point in time that many of us we are concerned with is the criminal elements in our society. We are really and truly concerned with that. And again, we are concerned with what is going to take place with the new government that has won the election just mere weeks away. And we have seen, those of you who are watching on, I know for a fact that there are people who are speculating failure. There are people who would like the government to fail. And there are others like myself who would like, really and truly our country to strive so that the citizens of our country can really and truly live a more healthy and more prosperous life. And that is my wish. And I have seen that happening because Trinidad and Tobago, we have said a good few things in the past week. As we open our program here, I just want you all to remember, just last week I told you all this, that when the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa and her members of parliament were in opposition, you really and truly didn't saw anything like island-wide protesting. You didn't really saw anything like protesting taking place when it comes to any avenue, whether it be medical, whether it be domestic, whether it be infrastructural. They were not seeing any protests taking place. And just last week on this program, I identified. I said to John Public, I said it to myself, I said it to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the citizens of our country, that you are going to see protests, protests, protests galore. And lo and behold, my words never really fell to the ground. Maybe it was before the floor, and we are seeing the nurses protesting. Director, bring that up for me, please. We are seeing that the nurses, they are already starting to protest. Trinidad and Tobago, as I said before, those of you who are locked on my TikTok chat, feel free to share the video. And maybe if you like to communicate with me via TikTok. I'm going to read your text. Let people know what is happening in your area. Right? This is your network. This is your broadcasting. This is your media network. This is your broadcasting network. And I'm your host, Imam Rashid Karim. So again, put on some volume on that there, Director.
As the day-to-day operations must move forward.
But right now at TFPT, the only thing that is concerning for me is the halt on all this spending. We have negotiations Friday the 16th, 2025. And we would want to know if this halt would now impact the collective bargaining period for junior and senior staff. Right? That is a crucial thing.
Andrea Perez, Sobers.
Right, so come back, Director. So Trinidad and Tobago, exactly what I have predicted on this show. I have told you all this, and this is no, you don't need to wave a magic wand. You don't need to really and truly go into a school or a university to study that. That is the isometrics of the people of this country. When you look at politics, you're going to realize that there are certain people who get. And when they get, they remain quiet. And when they are not going to get, maybe they have to absorb some sort of hardship. You're going to realize they're going to come out and retaliate in their large numbers. That was not seen when the opposition was in the opposition. Now we are seeing our next government took over our country, and they are trying their utmost best to bring about some sort of sanity, some sort of reality. And I want to say hats off to the Honorable Khadija Amin. I think she is the minister in the Ministry of Local Government. She started as a councillor, and again, my friends, she have reached that helm where she is today the Minister of Local Government. So I want to just let you all know that nothing is really and truly cannot be achieved by hard work and sacrifice. Nothing can ever be achieved without hard work and sacrifice. We are seeing Khadija Amin here, and that is the Shoguna's mayor down on the bottom there, and they are highlighting some of the resources, some of the vehicles that they are really and truly, that is workable in the Shoguna's Borough Corporation at this point in time. And I don't want that just to be, a photo shot. I don't want that just to be a photo shot that, people are going to watch here and say, okay, so and so is the case. I want to just say hats off to Khadija Amin, hats off to the Mayor of Shogunas for initiating before the rainy period comes in, before the rainy season comes in, and a lot of flood takes place in the central arena. They are already preparing for those maybe disasters that may occur. But I want to let you all know that if Ms. Khadija Amin, who is the minister in the Ministry of Local Government, at this point in time, would like to get some advice, maybe she can give us a call. We have a lot of people who are activists in the community who could identify some of the anomalies, some of the areas that could be addressed so that flooding can be a thing of the past when it comes to central Trinidad. And that could be, communicated with other areas also. That is something, I want to say something here today, and it might not augur well with a lot of people. It might not augur well with a lot of people, but I have to say it. I have to say it. I tell you something, many of those people who go in the ministry, in the different agencies, right, they are going to the ministries, and you know what? They are going to listen to what people are going to tell them, advisors to the different sectors. And you know something? Most of the time, those very said people who are giving you advice, those are the very said people who want you to fail. So this is why I come in here. Last week we were talking about, and I was calling on the minister in the Ministry of Communication, the Honorable Shiva Barry Padarat. Right? I was telling you all last week. And I tell you something, people are listening to this program. People are listening to this program, and I want to say hats off to the minister in the Ministry of Communication. Because here it is, as exactly what I'm saying. And I'm giving advice to the ministers in our government. The ministers in government at this point in time, do not rely on information that is going to be passed on to you by those persons who are working under the past government, simply because some of those people might want you all to fail miserably. So you have to be very, very careful who you are taking advice from. And again, what Barry Padarat is saying, the Honorable Minister in Ministry of Communication, pull that video, Director. Pull that video. And I want to say hats off to him again. And, many people might say, I find Imam, Imam really and truly singing for his supper. Whether you call it singing for your supper, that's your business. Put some volume on that.
Barry Padarat, as he says the board has refused to resign. The internal memo, which was signed by TSTT's CEO Kent Weston, was obtained by CNC3. The directive applies across all categories of employment: permanent, temporary, part-time, contract, consultancy, and contingent workers. Minister Padarat says due to the refusal of the board to resign, this was the only thing to do at this time.
I gave the directive that the board is to issue no instruction, company from those who have refused to resign from those positions. So until the new administration puts in place a board that will handle the day-to-day affairs in tandem with the management of TSTT, it is only right that such decisions taken at a board level.
Asked for comment on this.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Director, that is another thing that we were saying on this program. Week after week, we come here, right? We research our work. Sometimes we don't come here, we might not come on the table, on the desk here, with any information in front of us. But basically, when we are listening to the plights, when we are listening to the complaints of the citizens of this country, my friends, I can sit here and speak for 3 hours without any information in front of me. Simply because, you know what? I am living what I'm speaking about. Because last week I claimed that, be mobile, right? And I've been calling, and it is as though, I am hitting a rock and in a hard place. Because week after week, the persons who call in on this line here, please call 372-2129. 372-2129, and we could be able to listen to your whether it's a complaint, whether it's a situation that you want us to raise on this program. Feel free to call us, 372-2129. Don't call that landline there. Right? So again, my friends, as I was saying this clearly. Since last week Monday, my network has not been providing me with Wi-Fi. And hear what? I call over 23 times. Records will show that. And every time you call that company, they are recording your conversation. I record the conversation also. But I don't want to play it back, because I tell you something, as an innocent operator who is at the back there, and she was trying to be cordial as possible. But again, frustration there. Again, I don't want to really and truly identify that individual, because I ask her name. And I don't want to edit nothing. So I just leaving that by itself. But I'm just telling you, Monday to Monday, today's Wednesday. So we're talking about 8, 9, 10 days. Right? Today is 10 days now. No service. And every time you try to get through them, it's taking you 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes you cannot get through. Right? So I'm just letting you all know that it seems as though the minister in the Ministry of Communication, they has to do something about this. And I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, and this is only real. This is only fair, right? You were working with another government. And those positions would have been, the boards is either success or failure. Right? I want you all to listen very, very attentively and carefully to what I'm saying here today. If you have a board, the board of management is either success or failure, those board can bring to the table. So Barry Padara, the minister in the Ministry of Communication, they have asked that, and it is only justifiable that you had a contract with the lad, because when you came into government, you were there under PNM, and you got 5 years. And PNM won the election, so that means to say that many of you have been sitting in that board for 10 years. Let me tell you all something. I had a contract. I got a contract in 2013. Listen carefully, Trinidad and Tobago, only 2013. Not 2010 when Kamala came in power, in 2013. Right? And I got that contract, and in 2015, just 2 years later, we're talking about 24 months, 2 years later, my contract was cut simply because the Honorable Kamala Persad and the United National Congress lost the election and PNM came into power. And my name was in front. Why? Because I was champion. I was an activist, a very strong activist, and is a strong activist for the United National Congress. And I was cut immediately. Information went to the boards, whoever was in charge. And here what? Imam Rashid Karim, he's the owner of a contract under the banner of CPEP. You need to cut him immediately. Why? Because he was attacking us vociferously when we were there. When they were in government, my friends. So I lost that contract, just 2 years contract. And let me tell you something. Out of that 2 years, I didn't get paid for 3 terms, 3 sectors, three segments, and I made requests for my monies, but I never got it up to this day. And I'm going to make a call, I'm going to write letters to the present minister who is in charge, line minister, to see how best they can be able to facilitate my payments. Right? I don't expect it to be handed over tomorrow, but investigation will be done, and I do hope and pray that they're going to give me back my payments that they owe to me. Right? That is number one. Number two is that all those boards, and there are many boards, every ministry would have a board. Right? Every single ministry, and I would expect that all those persons who are in board get out of those boards, tender your resignation, simply send in your resignation and prepare documents so that people who come in can be facilitated. Don't shred all the documents and leave those people in the blind so that they now have to go back and do the same work that our taxpayers paid you to do, to facilitate investigation here, there, and everywhere. When you shred those information, I want you all to listen. When they shred those information, or they discard those information, or they conceal those information that the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago paid for, investigation here, investigation there, my friends, I am telling you, every single board that is presently occupying while they were under the PNM government, they should have resigned by now, and give the new line minister the opportunity, as well as the cabinet, to select people who could work with them. Because I tell you something, you can't have 1,000 people working for and 2,000 working against. How can the government of the day really and truly be able to be a productive government? And I want you all to digest with that and call me at 372-2129. We have a big program here today. We have a really program. We're going to deal with crime in a little bit. We're going to talk about the Commissioner of Police. We're going to talk about the Commissioner of Police, because the last Commissioner of Police, he went and he made a predicament. And he made a prediction that God Almighty gave him that position. And that is the case. Now, I want to ask that question, is God Almighty taking back that position from you? So these are questions that is going to be asked here on our program. Let's take our first break. And when we come back, my friends, we're going to deal with issues that is most relevant to country building.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are, of course, the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, cause we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Shogunas. Welcome to Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Shogunas. Call the number on the screen today and book now.
Okay, my friends, welcome back to our program, Hard Facts. I'm your host, Imam Rashid Karim. For those of you who have now joined in our program, we are discussing really, real information finding here. We are discussing exactly what we predicted is going to happen. We told you all on this program that as soon as the government settled down a bit, you're going to see protests. You're going to see protests from the north. You're going to see protests from the east. You're going to see protests from deep down in south. And that clearly indicates something. That is the agitation that is going to take place. And we have been asking, myself and my co-host, we have been asking on this program to shut this country down. When PNM was in power, shut this country down so that people really and truly could understand the gravity of what is taking place. We are seeing today, my friends, those of you who are locked on, we are seeing that the government have left $140 billion deficit for the United National Congress to pay. For this present government to pay. And how are they going to pay? And the hard part about it, for them to move on now, for the government to move on, the government wants to move on. The people wants to be serviced. And the government wants to get a good, proper kickstart. And they are asking on the relevant boards to resign forthwith because of you being in that board, a lot of governmental agencies were in the deficit, were losing monies. Projects were handed out. And people collected checks and no work have been done and all these things. These are allegations that is being brought forward in the public domain. These are allegations that is in the public domain right now. But who is going to challenge that? And we are saying this on this program here. So thus far we have called on the Minister of Communication, the Honorable Minister Barry Padarat, and he's doing the correct thing. Suspend all services, suspend all programs. These people need to vacate their position and a new board has to be installed with correct people who could work with the government, not people who are going to work against the government. I think again, my friends, those of you who are listening to me, all those permanent secretaries and all those persons who have privileged information should resign, tender their resignation. Because I'll tell you something, under your watch, a permanent secretary, right? Those of you who don't know that, a secretary in a company is basically the pulse or the heartbeat of a company. The secretary has more power than the president or the CEO of a company. They have all the information. And if your company going under, know for a fact that the general secretary, the permanent secretary, or whoever is doing the secretarial work for you is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You understand? This is how important a secretary is. So all these people, a new government in place, you all should have been planning this. You all should have been understanding this. That you were in government for the past 9.5, 10 years. You were there, the PNM had 2 terms, and they brought the country to a standstill at this point in time. That is according to the data that has been portrayed at this point. Now, if the PNM have different information, they have to come forward. They have to rebut those information. If the $140 billion that the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa government is saying that there's a deficit, the Minister of Finance, the Minister Dave Tanku, is saying that. And if that is not true, then you all have to come out there and rebut those things and give information and let the public know what is going on, because you all have to give account to the public. You all have to understand that you are working for the citizens of this country. You are not the big boss. You are not the head honchos. You are not the owner of that. You are working for us. And you have to conduct yourself in a manner like that. And we are seeing that in the initial. We are seeing that many people, for example, the Honorable Khadija Amin, she's visiting the different corporation and so forth. Thus far, I see that she's coming to the user-friendly corporation, those corporation that has been governed by the United National Congress and run by the United National Congress. But you know what? Many of the anomalies really and truly would have been under the government purview in the other boroughs and the other corporation, and that is where she has to also go and initiate, because I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, we are suffering. The people of this country, we are suffering because of what? Because of poor governance. That is what is happening. When a country fails, it is not because of the people failing, no. I want you all to understand that it is because of the people who we hire. The people, you know something, people would say this, and they would say that, look, Imam talking out of time, but I'm being real here. When I was walking around for the campaign season in the last 2-3 weeks, I would have realized that the PNM would lose the election, because I tell you something, when we look at the momentum and the amount of people of the different religious persuasions and the ethnic persuasions, they were really and truly speaking ill about the PNM. Anybody, any right-thinking person would know that here what, there's going to be a change in government. And all those permanent secretaries and all those persons who are in board, all those persons who are in the board, whether it be the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Energy, wherever you are, you should have been preparing your letter of resignation from the moment that you heard the PNM lost the election. The next day, your resignation should be handed. It should be handed to the person, the line minister at that point in time, whoever it was given to, right? But that has not been done, and it reached to that point now today that the minister in the Ministry of Communication has to suspend further movements of the board and restrict their movements until, because here's what's going to happen. Some of these people may have contract. This is the loophole. This is the loophole. I remember this. A lot of people would have contract, and I want to get the validity of it, because I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of what transpired. When government is about to change, what happened? The people who are in position, they try to initiate new contracts, another 5 years or another 3-year contract, right? So that their contract could continue. But I think that contract that is written, it is written in the close proximity of maybe 3 years to 5 years after the government tenure changes, that contract should be null and void. I think so. And the legal minds outside there should be able to really and truly adapt to that and be able to produce documentations and validity of it. Because here what? If that is the case, every government that is going to lose election, they could have put people strategically located in the different areas to receive lucrative contracts for the next 5 years. And then again now, the government of the day will have to fulfill that contract. That has to stop. That happened to me. That happened to me when PNM government took over, when they took over the government in 2015, right? Immediately all persons who had contract, their contract was terminated. And I believe that should have been in the pipeline right now. All persons who have contract with the past government has to renew their contract with this government, the government of the day. And I think that is only fair. That is only fair, because I tell you something, there are people who are still, their contract is servicing and they are collecting lucrative amounts of cash from this government today. They are getting their pay from this government, and you know something, they're still doing nothing. So those of you who are locked on, this is real hard facts that we are dissecting here today. And I'll tell you something before I take the second break. I just want to let you all know that crime really and truly in this country we had SOE, right? We had a state of emergency, and that did nothing. That did zero. Kamla Prasad Bisasa, when we asked the question to Erla is coming back. Erla is coming back. Director, bring back that video there. Erla is coming back, right? From suspension, Erla to get letter lifting suspension today, right? That is a next set of lick boots coming up again. Those persons who are against Erla, they will have to batten their crease, and they will have to come back now to start a lick and start a shine Right? This is what is happening in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. Now Ola is coming back. So we're talking about that happen for good. Now in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, we have all the heads of departments. When it comes to security, the commissioner of police is a woman. The president of this country is a woman. The prime minister of this country is a woman. And the opposition leader is a woman. So that's a plus. We're looking at diversity in the true sense of the word. We're talking about emotional. We're talking about physical. We're talking about hardcore. Diving into the real reality of serving the country. Because again, my friends, women in this country, I know for a fact that they have the power and they have the stability to move things, because you could ever realize that a prime minister could come back after 10 years, could come back in the government. Many people were saying no, she would not be able, and she's old and this, that, the next, and she left many of us spellbound in the sense that she came back. All right, so again, hats off to the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and hats off to all the women who are holding high and strategic position in our country today. Let's take a break, Director.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, cause we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Shogunas.
Welcome back to our program. Those of you who are locked on, this is your program, Hard Facts. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. And again, my friends, this program really and truly deals with relevant information, relevant issues that is affecting the citizens of this country, Trinidad and Tobago. You all are very fortunate, because here it is, we don't really run ads. We don't really take monies from anybody to run any ads. Once you come into our stream and you are looking at our stream, you have the opportunity to interact immediately with me. And you can text me and tell me, you can call the number. Director, check that line, 372-2129. That's a number that you can call me and identify, tell me what is going on, right? Because I'm telling you, in this country, things are really and truly, the bureaucracy of things is really hard. Let me tell you a little stuff. You want a bank account, you need to get a bank account. Because everything just now going cashless. Right? So that means to say you have to get a links machine if you have a business. You have to get a credit card. You have to get credit card machines and so forth. That is the hardest thing to get. I'm calling on the government of the day to see and investigate that. Why it is that the business community, it is so hard to get a links machine. Imagine this, Trinidad and Tobago. You have a landline links machine, right? And you would like to get a mobile. You would like to get a mobile links machine. And that is a drama. That is a drama you have to get. Imagine Trinidad and Tobago, you have an account in the bank, right? You have an account in the bank. You submit all your information. This is how ridiculous it is. This is how ridiculous it is. It seems as though that the banking system is more superior than the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And they have more powers than us. Because here what? You submit already. You have to get a job letter. You have to get a letter from your employer. You have to get residential status quo letters, like your WASA bill, your internet bill, whatever bills. You have to get bills. You have to get a financial. You have to get a financial for 5 and 4 years. All these things you are get. And imagine this, you submit that already. You submit that already to get the links machine. And now you would like to get a mobile links machine from the very said bank. And they're giving you the drag and the run around. You know why you want to get that? You know why you want to get a links machine? A mobile links machine? Because here what? The landline links machine not functioning. And that has been happening for me, Trinidad and Tobago, for the past 9 days, 10 days. And that is B-Mobile. I will call the company name B-Mobile. Since last week, Monday, I've been calling you all to repair my line, to do something, send somebody, send a technician. It seems as though if there's something wrong with your line, you know, God Almighty had to come and fix that because there's no technician. There's no physical people who could really and truly go in the office and talk to anyone. These are the things that government has to go in parliament and debate. If you want to run a business, you must have public relations. Public relations doesn't mean you call them on your phone and you're taking a half day to get it through with somebody. And then when you get through with somebody, you're not speaking to a human in that line. Behind that line, you're speaking to an animal. Because they are frustrated. They are fed up because the last caller abused them and cursed them, so they treat the next caller the same way. That is what is happening, people. Trinidad and Tobago all try to understand, listen to what is going on in this country. Sometimes you see a man crash into a vehicle. You see somebody running or run across a bridge. You don't know what happened in his home this morning. You don't know what domestic problem he's challenged with. You don't know what financial problem he has right now. You do not know what domestic situation that is in his life. Maybe he got a letter of termination from a government office that he's working, and he doesn't have nowhere to really and truly turn to. This is what is happening. We are supposed to be facing reality. Government of the day, government change. The United National Congress is in government. No two ways about it. We have to work with this government for the next 5 years. Right? We have to work, we have to find ways to work with them, and we have to make sure and initiate programs with them so that the government could remain in office and they could be able to facilitate us. I am calling on all relevant people outside there, let's work with the government. Because I tell you something, you have 5 years to stay with them. And if they perform well, you might have 10 years to stay with them. So we can't be hating each other. That's the reason why I come in this program this morning. Last week, I complimented 2 ministers. That would have been Finance Minister Dave Tanku, and I've commended and give congratulations to Raja Alexander. That's 2. And the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, that's 3. This week, today in our program, I'm complimenting the Honorable Barry Shiva Padarat and Khadija Amin. Now, this is not for any namesake or any fame sake. What I'm doing this for is that we have to initiate programs with these people so that, again, my friends, we can take a step forward, a bold step forward in providing resources and services to the country and the people. That is the whole idea of this program. And we would like you all to call us at 37. Stop hiding behind the curtains. Stop hiding and pulling the string behind the curtain. Come forward and let people understand here what. You are telling me, the farmers are telling me this. The farmers are calling me and telling me this, to raise this issue. What is the issue? What was the issue? Would you all able to call me today and identify? But Imam, or you usually only one could really talk, and you could be able to bring out that in a kind of, a positive manner. What they are asking me is to identify with the minister in the Ministry of Agriculture to investigate, because a lot of investigation I am seeing here that activist Nizam Ishmael, that is the brother of Inshan Ishmael, that is breaking barriers, and they have called on their legal team, right, to solicit information from the Freedom of Act information, all the laws pertaining to what? Pertaining to all those expenditures that it was incurred by the ex-PNM ministers. That should be done not only with the PNM ministers, that should be done with all the government that went in the past and will be in the future. So that's nothing new. And we are asking, and we want to thank Nizam there, that's the brother of Inshan Ishmael. Continue fighting for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I am continuing fighting for the people in my end, identifying, and I'm calling on you, the citizens of this country, to join with me. Call the number 372, let me know what is going on. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a discussion and let's talk about issues like that, because farmers are saying there are individuals who have collected 2 and 3 times that 100,000. And if that is the case, then somewhere down the line, that is, there's a disparity in the dissemination of that grant And something has to be done with that, because there are bona fide people who are waiting, and they're even saying this to me, that there are people who are not supposed to collect the grant. There are people who are not farmers, right? How could you be a farmer and then you are a public servant at the same time? Leave that for somebody else. You want the whole cake. You want to eat the cake, and you want everything for yourself. Leave something for the poor, the needy, the wayfarers, the widows, the orphans. And that is what this program is all about, to identify and to let Trinidad and Tobago know that you all have a voice. And we are going to be here, myself, my co-host, Mr. Premchand Balev, when he finishes course. I think he's gone to Nepal or something like that. When he come back from Nepal, my friends, again, what is going to happen? He's going to come back in our program. We're going to deal with issues. We're going to take the night show and deal with issues. Right? So again, Trinidad and Tobago, let us all try to be, helpful when it comes to the government of the day. Let's identify. Let's be able to really and truly interact with the public service. And I think, and I'm just saying this aloud here. I am saying this aloud, right? I think that there should be a day, meet the minister day. You know how you would meet your priest, your pundit, your imam, or whatever, you have a day like that. I would like, the certain areas, ministries, that come and meet your minister. Come and have a dialogue with your minister. And maybe you can't have one-on-one with that person, but maybe you can interact, you can present an envelope with some questions, maybe some ideas, or something like that, so that your minister and her agencies and her team would be able to read and identify. And maybe, you don't know, your information could be most relevant when it comes to healing and fixing our nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Again, my friends, a lot of things is happening in the criminal sides of the defense. We saw last week. Director, pull up some of those things there. Right. Stop right there. Correct one. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, I want people, those of you who are on my TikTok, maybe you could even go on YouTube and also be on TikTok. Go on YouTube, Sentinel Media Broadcasting. State to pay man for wrongful arrest again. Last week, THA was to pay $3 million, right? And this time again, government has to pay that money. Now, government is not paying nothing from their pockets. Government got a pay increase and what have you. Government is not going to take money from their bank account and take that to go and pay that man. That money has to be paid by the citizens of this country. Come back, Director. Right? So that money is that has to be paid there. And how much wrongful arrest that has been made by the police service, why it is that these people who are making the wrongful arrests, right? Why can't they really and truly be penalized? Because when we tell people, identify yourself, you're going to be a police officer, many times you would hear people say, hey, don't video me, don't record me, When you put on that uniform, you are a public servant. You fail to realize that you're not in your kurta, you're not in your dhoti, you're not in your suit, you're in the public domain. And if somebody want to record you, whether you're in a rum shop, or you're taking a dance in a carnival, or you're going somewhere in a bar and eating or dancing with a Spanish, like what we see last week on the social media. My friends, you put on that public uniform, that's a public space, public uniform. You are not private there again. Once you put on your uniform, that's the reason why when you finish your day's work, right? When you finish your 7 to 4 or your 8 to 4 shift, and you take out that uniform, you are civilian. You are civilian. People can't come and say, he's a policeman, but he had to do this. No, if he wants to do that, he could do it on his own, but he can't arrest people if he's not a legitimate bona fide police with uniform, or he's a plainclothes officer or something like that, and he identify himself. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, the Commissioner of Police, bring back that information there. Director, I want you all to watch this. It might look jokey here, but watch this.
I don't care what is the crime situation. I don't care who is the crime. I ain't got to be strong. Somebody shout to the pastor, say be strong. Be strong. Good. Be strong. I need to hear that too. Be strong. Be strong. People don't want to leave their house. Pastor, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Hey, be strong. Be strong. What nonsense you talking? I recognize that, hello, you see, your image will be attracted. You will attract your words. So if you start to talk negative things whole set of negative things will come. Because it is attracted by a word. But I start to speak some things over my life. I am telling, I am not going to die before my time. Hello, I am going to be a commissioner of police. I am going to be a good commissioner of police. I am going to be a leader of leaders. I start to speak.
All right, Director, come back. So Trinidad and Tobago, you heard the prediction from the past Commissioner of Police. He was a Commissioner of Police. But again now, he's not a Commissioner of Police because, again, Erla Christopher, the past Commissioner of Police who was in a position where she was in suspension, and that suspension has been lifted. So again, my friends, monies are going to be paid. Who is going to pay that money? Hey, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are watching, you have money to invest there. Because when Erla takes her senior lawyer, senior counsel, lawyer fee has to be paid, right? And then, you know something? She's going to come out with maybe $15, $20 million. So that is monies. Again, now she's going to resign. She's going to retire, a wealthy woman. Simply again, because, you know what? Because people ego. Because of ego. Right? People want to just, become the next. My friends, you all have to learn how to investigate. You have to take courses in investigation. And that's the reason why I do hope and pray that when Erla, the Commissioner of Police, come back in office, if she can give directive, and that directive is a simple one. What can normal, hard-working citizens in this country really and truly do if bandits or some miscreant come in your home to attack you and your families, whether it be in the wee hours of the morning or during your course of business hours while you are in your business? What do they do? And again, my friends, why it is that they cannot put out in the public domain? Right here, what? Applications are being met for firearms users license. This is what you have to provide. You have to provide this information here and make your application, send in your application for firearms users license. Why can't all those things be in the forefront of the pages? Why it is that we are only seeing negativity? Why it is that you and I today, hard-working citizens of this country, have to feel the brunt of the swords, while the banking system, they are coming home with $5 and $10 billion profits, right? And they are charging for everything. They are charging if they put a stamp in your thing, in your maybe a letter you ask for from the bank, or you want a statement, you have to pay for every single thing. Right? And that has to come out of our hard-working dollars that we make during our tenure in business. And those people are eating, drinking, enjoying the perks and the benefit of everything, while you, the hard-working citizens of this country. So I want you all to join with me. Join with me and let this wave of better governance come in. Right? Because I told you all this, and that protest with the nurses. The protest with the nurses is not the first, neither the last. It is going to be initiated week after week, months after months. You are going to see people who were dormant. I do hope and pray that Mr. Kublal Singh doesn't come outside and start protesting now, because I never seen him protest in 9 years. I'm just saying so. I love Kublal Singh. Kublal Singh is a good man, because especially when they come, you remember they come to give him the doubles when he was in the when he was fasting, and he blew them away. You remember that? When the ambulance came to carry him and he blew them away. Now that is the kind of individual we are looking forward. We didn't see him protest for the past 9 years. So I do hope and pray that he doesn't come now and protest, because I remember Kamla Prasad Bisasa saying something. If you all take my kindness for weakness, then think twice. You're not going to see that happening again. And that's a mimic that is taking place. Plenty of people are using her voice to do that very setting to make TikTok. Give me the video, director, with the potholes down somewhere in Faizabad or somewhere down that area there. Papuri Road, not a drain. It's a dead trap, residents tell the Prime Minister. Now, I'll tell you something. Papuri people, right? Now, that was supposed to be warranting protests upon protest actions that was supposed to be done when the PNM was in government. Now, I don't hope, and I do hope and pray that you all don't start a protest now, because Kamla, the United National Congress, is in power, and we have a soft target. If you feel that Kamla is a soft target, and the ministers is soft targets, we're going to protest now, and we're going to we're going to heat them up. No. Let me tell you all something. The time to do that, you didn't do it. Now you have to work with them. You have to work with the government of the day, initiate programs, get people to do, some findings, investigations, and maybe you can draft letters to the minister identifying some of the avenues that the minister or the ministry can take to really and truly alleviate that problem, to solve the problem. That is what we have to do right now. We can't just say we're going to jump and protest and protest and protest, because 10 years gone and you all didn't protest. 10 years gone and you didn't protest. I'm waiting for every protest, and I'm writing down every protest, and you know what I will do? One day for the show, in every month, I will identify every protest that you all, people coming out now, they're now getting out, you're now getting back, and you're coming to protest now. I want to show you all how hypocritical we are as citizens in this country. Because we were calling, myself and my co-hosts, we were calling people, my friends, we were calling people, come out and let us go and protest. Let us protest. You know, the property tax. I myself started a group called the Resistance Against the Property Tax, RAPT. That was started by me. And I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, that really and truly did wonders. Because in the first 5 years, that the property tax was not really and truly initiated. The second 5 years, they started initiating, and lo and behold, in the tenure of the 10 years, the property tax has been removed, repealed, and I am saying thank you all, United National Congress, thank you all, Finance Minister, and thank you all, Minister, the Honorable Kamal Prasad, as the Prime Minister of this country. Again, we're taking our final break, and when we come back, we're going to close off our program. So those of you who are live on my TikTok, you can Google me, you can send messages, you can send information, you can send videos to that number, 372-2129. Not only I have a vehicle to sell, Imam, I have a vehicle to sell, and you're asking my permission. No, tell me about other things. Nothing wrong. Sentinel Media Broadcasting is your page. Identify. There's no vulgarity, anything like nudity and vulgarity, we're going to eradicate, we're going to get you off of that page. But what we are saying, anything that is of nation building, please send it to Sentinel Media Broadcasting. I thank you. Stay tuned as we take our final break, and we're going to come back.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are, of course, the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams, and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, because we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Welcome to Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Call the number on the screen today and book now.
Okay, my friends, welcome to the final segment of our program here today on Hard Facts. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. Those of you who have maybe started your meal a bit late and you are still watching our program, feel free to text me, feel free to call me, and let me know what is going on in your area. If you are being pressured in your job, if you are in your workplaces and maybe you have seen something that warrants the attention of John Public outside there, feel free to call me, feel free to text. We are here to identify with you and to assist you in whatever situation. Again, those of you who are fully acquainted with me, Imam Rashid Karim, we have started a program under the banner of the IFST, that is the Islamic Fidel Services Trust. And we normally host Eid dinner, that is after Qurbani coming up. And that Eid dinner will be held on the 21st of June. And the starting time will be 3:30 in the afternoon. The ticket, a scrumptious meal and dessert for $125. I want to repeat that for you all. A scrumptious meal, dessert, entertainment by one of the Trinidad and Tobago top artists, that is Brother Harun Ali and his band, his team of singers and so forth. And those of you who are interested in tickets, you can call 308-5318 or 372-2129 and book your ticket now. We are only selling 200 tickets, right? And that will be held at the IFST building, that is at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity. That is the banquet hall in Felicity. And you can book your ticket now. Call 308-5318. The ticket price is $125. And those of you who have been our frequent, how you would call it, clients and purchasers of those tickets, call early, because as I said before, we are only doing 200 tickets. We want to have it a well-balanced program, and we would like you all to come and enjoy, a special meal with us. And let me tell you something, $125 is really and truly a giveaway price, because normally those types of dinner ticket normally sells for $250. And we are doing that not as a fundraiser. We are doing that as a give back to our community, number one, and to identify with you that the Islamic Fidel Services Trust, we are establishing a home for senior citizens in our country, and we would like you all, those of you who would be attending, to be part and parcel of that. We would like volunteers to patronize and volunteer their time and their services for the elderly in my community number one, and my country, Trinidad and Tobago. So that you have an opportunity knocking on your doors. On the 21st of June, we are hosting, the IFST is hosting a dinner. Starting time is a early dinner, a late lunch, and that will be at around 3:30. We'll be starting officially. We ask you all to come for 3, and you can sit and relax and meet people and greet with people and so forth. Air-conditioned hall and fully serviced with security and parking, right? So again, those of you who would like to purchase tickets for that Eid dinner, you can contact myself or you can contact members of the IFST. They will be having tickets also to sell. So back to the program. My friends, just in that the former President George Maxwell Richards has died. Former President of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor George Maxwell Richards, has passed away today following a heart attack. Relative confirmed that he died. So again, my friends, condolences to the family of George Maxwell Richards, and condolences to Trinidad and Tobago, because I know for a fact that he was a really and truly great guy. He was a gentleman when it came to the governance, and he came to the sovereignty of being the president of Trinidad and Tobago. So again, thank you for your service that you have rendered to the country, and may God Almighty bless you all wherever you are. Bless you wherever you are. Family, condolences. Right, again, Trinidad and Tobago. There are many things that we could discuss in this show. There are many things that we could discuss. But as I close my program here today, I just want to let you all know. That the government of the day need us to work with them, not to fight with them. So I am saying this. I am monitoring all those persons who remain silent for 10 years, not protesting, when the other government was in power, and now the United National Congress is coming here. I want to check for you all and really and truly identify and let you all know that there is some sort of abnormality that takes place when UNC is in government and when the PNM is in government. So that's one thing I'm going to identify, and I'm going to give you statistics, I'm going to give you figures, and I'm going to identify for you how real this program is. This is a hard facts program where we deal with facts and not fiction. This is a program that we deal with facts and no fiction. So again, my friends, thank you all very much. Thank you all for really and truly supporting this program. Thank you all for giving us the little tits and bits information that you have been sharing. And thank you all for the calls. Some of you call me after the program. Some of you call me before the program. But I can't understand why it is that you are scared to call while we are live. And that is the time it have the more impact on the program itself, and also you would have an opportunity to deal with the live audience so that they can be able to give you and share the sentiments, either to commend you or to even criticize you for whatever statements you are making. So again, my friends, thank you all very much. May God Almighty bless each and every one. And until Saturday program, I tell you something, we are going to do some investigation again on two situations that is prevailing in central Trinidad. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but on one would have been pertaining to the farmers, right? Pertaining to the farmers. And if people would like to submit names who have identified and who have been made application to collect that farmers grant, and they were not fortunate enough to get it, you can call me and identify so that I can be able to really and truly hit and press that button or hit the nail on the head. Thank you all. Imam Rashid Karim signing off for this program, Hard Facts.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are, of course, the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams, and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, because we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas.